Welcome to episode 536 of AI Brief.
Hi, everyone. Really looking forward to this one.
We have a massive deep dive mapped out for you today. We are going on a journey from really high-level geopolitical policy shifts all the way down to practical daily productivity tools.
It really spans the entire spectrum today.
It does. I mean, we are looking at Washington's unprecedented move on Anthropic's frontier models, a genuinely record-breaking week in robotics, and wrapping up with the trending tools you can install today.
And honestly, today's news proves a major point. AI is no longer just this abstract software concept. It is a critical global asset, and it is rapidly breaking out of the digital realm and forcing its way into the physical world.
That is the perfect setup. So let's dive straight into today's new updates, starting with a massive policy shockwave. The Trump administration has officially slapped strict export controls on Anthropic's most powerful models, specifically Mythos 5 and Fable 5.
Which is just a staggering development. Anthropic essentially got a notice from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick that changed the rules overnight.
Literally overnight. Lutnick informed them that these frontier models now require formal licenses for export, re-export, or transfer to foreign persons. And here is the kicker for you listening. This doesn't just mean transferring the model abroad.
No, it is way more complicated than that. This mandate applies to foreign nationals physically residing inside the U.S.
So if a foreign student in California accesses the model, that's a violation.
That is an illegal transfer of a controlled national asset. And because there is no technical way for a cloud API to instantly verify the citizenship of the person typing at the keyboard, Anthropic was put in an impossible position.
They just don't have that kind of real-time passport filter built into their systems.
Absolutely not. So to avoid massive compliance failures, Anthropic took the nuclear option. They took access to Mythos 5 and Fable 5 offline for all customers, every single one.
Oh, wow. They just pulled the plug entirely.
They had to. It signals a complete paradigm shift. We are no longer treating AI like typical cloud software. The government is treating it like a strategic weapon system or critical defense infrastructure.
It is wild to think about. It is like the government regulating munitions or tracking the refinement of uranium, but instead of physical fences and armed guards, they are trying to put a regulatory fence around a mathematical model.
A mathematical model that happens to be deeply embedded in the operations of countless businesses.
Which brings up a critical question I want you to consider. If frontier models can just be fenced off this abruptly, what does this level of uncertainty do to the product roadmaps of enterprise customers? I mean, companies rely on these models as a foundation for their entire infrastructure.
It throws those roadmaps into complete chaos. If the foundation can just vanish on a random Tuesday, businesses are going to be scrambling for local open source alternatives just to maintain some level of operational stability.
It really shows how fragile that digital supply chain is. But let's smoothly transition from that digital policy lockdown into the physical world. Leah, I'll hand the floor over to you to lead us through what has been a truly historic week in robotics hardware.
I'd love to. Let's slow down a bit and look at the physical capabilities we are seeing, starting with a robotic alpinist. There is a Unitree G1 humanoid robot that just successfully summited the 20,341-foot peak of Ecuador's Chimborazo volcano.
Wait, a bipedal robot climbed an active volcano?
It did, and the friction involved in doing that is incredible. The temperature fluctuations alone are brutal on battery chemistry and joint lubrication, not to mention balancing on loose volcanic rock.
That is just an unbelievable stress test for dynamic balance. Why put it through that, though, just for the achievement?
The end goal is actually very practical. They want to use these robust humanoid robots to patrol protected areas, monitor wildlife, and track illegal logging in environments that are just too dangerous for human rangers.
That makes a lot of sense. So what's the next challenge for the robot?
Well, Chimborazo is supposed to be the first leg of a robotic Triple Crown expedition, with Mount Everest as the next target. But it is currently on hold because of legal friction.
Oh, let me guess. Nepal doesn't have a permit for a machine.
Spot on. Nepal simply lacks the legal framework to authorize a robotic climber. The entire permit system is built around human biology and Sherpa support. So policy is lagging behind the physical hardware.
Just like we're seeing with the Anthropic export laws, it's a running theme.
It really is. And the hardware capabilities are accelerating largely because of the sheer volume of capital. Take Nisoray Robotics, for example. They just secured a staggering $1.4 billion funding round.
$1.4 billion. That is a massive war chest. Who is backing that?
Heavyweights like Amazon, NVIDIA, and Qualcomm. And Nisoray is building what they call cognitive robots. These machines perceive their environment, but more importantly, they run on a platform called the Neuroverse.
The Neuroverse, how does that work?
It is basically a centralized intelligence hub. It allows a fleet of robots to actively share physical skills. So if one robot figures out how to grip a weirdly shaped package, it uploads that muscle memory to the Neuroverse, and every other robot in the fleet instantly knows how to do it.
That compounding intelligence is just mind-blowing. No wonder the broader robotics sector has pulled in $55.8 billion in 2026. That almost doubles the previous annual record.
The industrial sector knows the physical chassis is the bottleneck, and they are spending whatever it takes to solve it. But this isn't just happening at the billion-dollar scale. Mondo Robotics is launching something called Benny, and it's aimed entirely at consumers.
What does Benny do?
It is essentially a personal paparazzi. It is a compact robot that costs $499. It follows you autonomously, shoots 4K video, and it can literally jump over 10-inch obstacles to keep you in frame.
Wait, it jumps.
Yes. They showed it following a teenager at a skate park, anticipating the trajectory and jumping concrete ramps to get the perfect action shot. It then automatically edits a highlight reel. It is the perfect ground-level replacement for noisy drones.
I am just marveling at the contrast in scale here. We have a $1.4 billion industrial platform sharing global muscle memory, a humanoid summiting a volcano, and then a $499 robot jumping over ramps to film a teenager. It is everywhere.
It really is scaling across every possible domain at the same time.
So we've gone from macro geopolitics to physical robots. Now let's bring it all the way down to practical, immediate productivity. I want to look at today's trending AI tools, the ones you can actually integrate into your daily workflows right now.
These are highly specialized mechanisms, no more generic chatbots.
Exactly. First up is Cursor. If you've ever tried to explain a complex UI design flaw to a developer through text, you know how frustrating it is.
It's awful. You type a massive paragraph and they still don't see what you mean.
Right, so Cursor lets you just point at any UI element on your screen. It uses vision models to send the exact visual context, the pixel hierarchy, straight to your AI. It instantly explains the glitch without you typing a single word.
That eliminates so much communication friction.
Definitely. Next up is Pond. Managing an early-stage startup is usually pure chaos. You're jumping from cap tables to marketing to hiring. Pond is a platform that centralizes fundraising, go-to-market strategies, and developer bounties all in one environment.
So the strategy and the execution live in the same place.
Exactly. Now, for the developers listening, we have Bob CLI. This is an AI coding command line interface. But the massive detail here is that it's local first.
Oh, that's crucial, especially after what we just discussed about Anthropic and enterprise security.
Spot on. You aren't sending proprietary code to a cloud server. It operates locally, adapting specifically to your syntax habits and file structures without risking a data leak.
That's a huge peace of mind for an engineering team.
Then there is Meet Warren 3.0. This is a voice-supported AI partner designed entirely for financial planning. Usually finance is locked in dense spreadsheets. Meet Warren lets you just talk through scenarios out loud while you're commuting.
Which is brilliant because voice is such a natural medium for complex brainstorming.
It really is. Moving on, we have the Slack data agent. Imagine you're in a Slack thread discussing a marketing push, and you need last quarter's metrics. Instead of leaving the app to hunt through dashboards, you just ask the Slack data agent right in the thread.
And it uses our RAG to pull the data directly from your company's databases without you ever switching tabs.
It brings the data to you. Finally, we have Lock-in AI. Translating an app for a new market usually ruins the nuance and humor. Lock-in AI uses tone-aware AI to automatically adapt translations so the brand voice stays perfectly intact.
And if you look at all these tools from a broader angle, the true power is combining them into an ecosystem.
How do you mean?
Well, imagine using the Slack data agent to instantly pull key startup metrics. You feed those metrics into Pond to build a go-to-market strategy. You use Lock-in AI to seamlessly localize the campaign, and Cursor to visually debug the landing page, keeping everything seamless.
You essentially eliminate the cognitive load of switching interfaces entirely. Well, we have covered a massive expanse of territory in this deep dive. From the government putting fences around Anthropic's models, to robots scaling South American volcanoes, down to coding safely in Bob's CLI.
It really shows how fluid the boundary between digital and physical has become.
It absolutely does. If you found today's journey valuable, please make sure to follow and share AI Brief with your network. Your support helps us keep unpacked these massive developments.
Thank you so much for tuning in and analyzing all this with us.
And as we sign off, I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. We are watching the government enforce strict export laws for software, treating it like physical munitions. But at the exact same time, physical machines are gaining the ability to instantly share intelligence globally through platforms like the Neuriverse.
It's a really fascinating
It
contradiction.
really is. If future robotics regulations are dictated by the laws we are currently writing for software, how do you police a physical machine that can instantly download a workaround from another robot across the globe? When the hardware becomes as fluid as the software, do our current geopolitical laws even matter anymore? Something to explore on your own. See you in the next episode.
See you in the next episode.